got news for you. They haven't won a Super Bowl since 1991. Oh, I'm sorry. They haven't been to one either. Oh, I got more news for you. They haven't been to an NFC championship game since 1991. Oh, I got more news for you. Since 1991, that is literally 28 years. The Redskins have been to the playoffs 5 times. 5 times. 5 times. In 28 years. What the hell you expect people to feel? You got sit up there, I don't know if it was Jonathan Allen or somebody, going to some profanity-laced rebuttal with reporters yesterday about people counting them out and don't love us now, don't love us later then, don't love us later then. Well, when have you given them anything to love? I mean, what the hell is going on here? You don't win a Super Bowl, I understand. You get knocked off, I understand. What possible excuse can you have being in the nation's capital with an owner like Daniel Snyder, who, if nothing else, throws his money around? You've got all the necessary resources available. There's been plenty of times we looked at the Redskins and we've seen talent. And you got 5 playoff appearances in 28 years to show for it. And you got an attitude with the public, with the media. Don't support us now, don't support us later. What have you given them to support? Inquiring minds would like to know. I mean, no disrespect, Jonathan Allen. I'm just asking. I'm just asking. I mean, you got to be kidding me. You don't see why people will have an attitude with you. You got to know to have attitude with other people. You lucky folks don't have an attitude with you.
Guys have to step up for Carson Wentz.
We're 1-2, yeah, but, we have a lot of the season left.
Right now, he's trying to do too much.
We're going to keep building those guys up and keep telling them, hey, the ball's coming right back to them.
As Carson walked back to the locker room, I asked him flat out, did this extra work have anything to do with the drops on Sunday? And he looked at me and he said, absolutely not.
I don't care what their record is. We know that they are a tough opponent, and we better be on top of our game because we're going to get their best shot.
The Stephen A. Smith Show on ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Guests on the Stephen A. Smith Show appear via the Shell Pennzoil.
Not crude oil. The proof is in the Pennzoil. Also, Stephen A. Smith Show, ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Quote, buy and save on home insurance with Progressive's new Home Quote Explorer. Only at Progressive.com. Ladies and gentlemen, it is always an honor to have my next guest on the line. He has held the IBF welterweight title since 2017. He is fighting for another welterweight championship this Saturday night, Staples Center, Los Angeles, California, the one and only Errol Spence Jr. What's going on, big time? How are you, man?
Hey, how's it going, man? I've been good. Finally counting down the days.
I got you. First of all, listen, why this particular fight going up against Shawn Porter? Tell us that.
It was the best available opponent, and he's the WBC champion of the world, and that's the most prestigious belt out there. That's the belt I've been wanting for a long time, and I'm finally getting my crack at it. So, and this is a big unification fight, so I definitely wanted this fight.
When you think about your career and where it's gone thus far, you're 25-0. 21 KOs. That's an 84% knockout percentage and what have you. The last time we saw you was against Mikey Garcia, an undersized fighter who moved up 2 weight classes to fight you on, I believe it was March 16th, 2000. I think it was March 16th. Talk to me about when you look at yourself and where your career is going right now. How do you feel about it personally, where you are right now in terms of what you feel you have to prove?
I feel like my career is going perfect. This is my second time fighting on pay-per-view, fighting on Fox pay-per-view. I've been getting, promoted doing NFL games and doing primetime TV hours. And I don't think, any other fighter, outside of, Shawn Porter, who's fighting me now, and Mikey Garcia fought me before, Keith Thurman, Pacquiao, getting that type of publicity, in between NFL games, in between the Cowboys and things like that. So I feel like my exposure and the fights I'm getting a unification fight with Shawn Porter, I feel like my career is going perfect and going in the way I want it to be going. And I'm getting paid what I'm supposed to be getting paid. So everything's going good.
Errol Spence Jr., reigning IBF welterweight champion of the world, fighting to unify the belts. WBC crown on the line Saturday night, as well as the International Boxing Federation crown at the Staples Center, live this Saturday night. Pay-per-view. Make sure you check it out. Errol, when I look at you, clearly to me, you're one of the top 5 pound-for-pound fighters on the planet. Where do you rank yourself and why?
I rank myself top 5 just because, all my competition, even though, they say it's going to be hard or, someone's going to test me, I make it look easy. So, I think I'll definitely be top 3 pound for pound with an amazing, one-sided performance against Shawn Porter. So I feel like I have the opponents there, and then I have a lot of opponents that's in front of me, whether it's at 47 or at 54. So, I'm definitely going to make my case to being number 1 pound for pound by the time the beginning of next year.
But I got to admit to you, I'm a little worried. And here's what I'm worried about. I think Shawn Porter's a damn good fighter, really, really tough, is going to try to get all up in your mug, and I think that you can handle it. But where I become worried is this. I think certain guys don't want to fight you. I'm looking at, a Keith Thurman. I understand the Manny Pacquiao's of the world. I know Terrence Crawford says he wants you, and I believe him. He ain't scared of anybody. But what I'm thinking is, even though that would be the mega fight all of us want to see, I look at the Danny Garcias, the Keith Thurmans of the world, and others, and I find myself wishing that you had fought them too. And I don't know if they're going to give you a fight. Is it really about business? Is it about them running from you? I don't know what the deal is. Why have these fights not taken place? And I'm not trying to accuse them and say they're running from anybody. I don't know. But I would like to see these fights happen, and they haven't happened. Why is that?
I think they haven't fought me because they haven't had now with me fighting Shawn Porter and becoming unified champion, I think money overrides fear. So, I feel like, I'll be the money guy of the division, the top guy in the division. And if, they want to get paid the way they're supposed to, they'll have to fight me. So I think a lot of these guys will fight me as soon as I dethrone Shawn Porter for his WBC crown and become the unified champ.
Now, what's the history with you and Shawn Porter? Can you tell me about that? I've met him a couple of times. Seems like a really good guy, but in the same breath, obviously, he's a rough rider. Ain't scared of anybody. He'll get in the ring and hold his own against almost anybody as far as I'm concerned. Talk to me about the history between you two and why we should look forward to these fights other than your quest to unify the belts.
Well, me and Shawn Porter, we really don't have any history. Me and his dad have a lot of history during amateur tournaments and him being an amateur on the national team coach. Mm-hmm. So we have a lot more history than me and Shawn Porter. Me and Shawn Porter always, paid respect to each other and things like that when we seen each other because we always been the top guys in the amateur system. But, people can tune into this fight because if you know Shawn Porter, he's a guy that comes forward, has a lot of heart, loves to fight. He makes it rough and it makes his opponent real uncomfortable. if you ever watch me fight, I'm very entertaining, whether it's one-sided or we're both going at it. So, I think, the clash of styles is going to mesh. And, this is going to be, it should be a classic fight. I mean, if he can withstand my punches and he coming forward, it should be a classic fight.
I'm not going to lie to you. I don't recall you having a fight where both of y'all was going at it. Every fight that I've seen you and Errol Spence has pretty much been one-sided. You pretty much dominated everybody. I don't recall seeing it where both guys were going at it. When did that happen?
Well, you see, if it was one-sided, it was a one-sided entertaining fight.
Got you.
But with the Kell Brook fight, I mean, we had points in the fight where he was getting the best of me. But besides that, it wasn't really anybody it was just tick for tat.
Do you feel you need a knockout Saturday night against Shawn Porter?
No, I don't. I don't need a knockout. I want a knockout. If the knockout don't come, I'll be happy with a unanimous decision. But with me, I just want a dominant performance. And I would love for it to be a one-sided dominant performance because I believe, like I said, I want to leave the ring and, be able to talk to my kids after I retire from boxing and still have my brain intact. So, I don't find it pleasurable to get hit with unnecessary punches, to get hit with punches that you don't have to get hit with.
Errol Spence Jr. right here with Stephen A., ESPN Radio, ESPN News. Before I let you get on out of here, I'd be remiss in bringing up the name Terrence Crawford. Obviously, in a lot of people's eyes, he's number one, number two pound for pound on the planet. He's made no bones about the fact that he would love to get you in the ring. You've made no bones about the fact that you would welcome that opportunity. Are we going to see that in the very near future? I know you're not a promoter. I know you're not the one to answer those questions fully, obviously. But I have to ask. I'd be remiss in neglecting to ask you about Terrence Crawford and how much do you really, really want to go against that man?
I want to fight, but when Al come to me and tell me that the business is right, and him and Bob talked about it and it looks right, then we'll have a fight. But Al is my guy, so if he tells me that the business is not right and it's not what it is, then the fight is not gonna happen. So as long as he comes with me with the green light, we can make it happen. But if it's not, then it's not gonna happen. But it's a fight I definitely want. Bob Aaron said he wants to fight. Terrence said he wants to fight, but if the business is not right, it's not gonna happen. Just like with the Floyd and Pacquiao fight, it didn't happen. But the business was right, so the business gotta be right.
I get that part, but I tell you this much too: as you get set to go against Shawn Porter this Saturday night, pay-per-view, Staples Center, WBC, IBF championship on the line in this unification bout. Here's the deal: you have a lot of folks out there that look at you going up against that guy, and the thought of potentially messing anything up, losing the future opportunities that lie there and wait for you down the line. Is that something a fighter thinks about going into a fight of this magnitude, particularly considering the money, not only the money that you're making, but the money that you're destined to make if victory comes your way? Do you think about those things at all before a mega fight like this?
No. If it's destined to happen, it'll happen. So, I mean, I don't worry about it. If it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. So, I don't worry about it or, hold it over my head or think about it that much. So, I believe in, my destiny is my destiny. So, I believe 100% I'm going to win every fight that I get into or that I'm going to have with someone. So, I'm not worried about what's going to happen in the future.
Errol Spence Jr., reigning IBF welterweight champion of the world, right here with Stephen A., ESPN Radio, ESPN News. Appreciate you, my man. Good luck Saturday night. I'll be watching.
Thank you.
All right. The one and only Errol Spence right here with Stephen A. on ESPN Radio, ESPN News. 888-SAY-ESPN. That's 888-729-3776. Back with your calls to close out the show in a minute. You're listening live to Stephen A., ESPN Radio, ESPN News.